Welcome to Joanna's Library. Enjoy the story. Sir Cumference and the Sword in the Cone. 圆周爵士与圆锥桶里的宝剑。A Math Adventure. 数学大冒险。Written by Cindy Neuschwander. Illustrated by Wayne Geehan. 翻译水果糖老师。One fine morning, Sir Cumference, Lady Di of Armiter, and their son Radius sat eating breakfast in King Arthur's castle. 一个晴朗的早晨，圆周爵士直径夫人和他们的儿子半径正坐在亚瑟王的城堡里吃早餐。Suddenly, the door flew open and a young knight ran into the room. 突然，门一下子打开了，一个年轻的骑士跑进了房间。It was Vertex, Radius' best friend. 那是顶点，是半径最好的朋友。I've found out why King Arthur called us all here, Vertex exclaimed. 顶点大喊着，我知道亚瑟王为什么把我们都召集到这里来了。The king wants to choose an heir, Vertex explained. 5 knights are competing for the honor. I'm one of them. 顶点解释说，亚瑟王想要挑选一位继承人，有5名骑士一起来竞争这项殊荣，我是其中之一。You would be a fine king, Sir Cumference said. 圆周爵士说，你会是一个好国王。That's right, agreed Radius. You helped the king make peace with the Euclideans last year. 半径也同意说得对，去年你就帮助国王与欧几里得国达成了和平。Yes, but now I have to solve the puzzle on this parchment, Vertex said. 顶点说，对，可是现在我得先解开这张羊皮纸上的谜题。The king has hidden his sword, Excalibur. 国王把他的宝剑王者边剑给藏起来了。The knight who finds it will be the next king. 找到这把宝剑的骑士就将成为未来的国王。Vertex unrolled a parchment. This is the only clue the king gave us. 顶点展开了羊皮纸，他说这是国王给我们提供的唯一线索。只见羊皮纸上写着 Form the solids and find their places. How many edges, points, and faces? 制作立体图形并找出其所在的地点，算算它们有几条边、几个顶点和几个面。The shapes that make 2 will pass the test, but one that does not must be your quest. 能得出2的图形，遇到测试可以通行，可得出1的却不行，就必定要你去寻。3 times as tall as its base is wide. The true king's future lies inside. 它的高度是底座宽度的3倍，真国王的未来就存放在内。Look at these strange drawings, Lady Di remarked. They look like wooden tabletops. 直径夫人说，看这些奇怪的画，它们看起来像是各种木头的桌面。Let's go ask the carpenters, suggested Radius. They know a lot about building tables. 半径建议说，我们去问问木匠吧，他们知道很多做桌子的知识。Vertex and Radius ran down to the courtyard. 顶点和半径跑到了城堡的中庭里。They saw the other knights trying to find Excalibur. 他们看见其他骑士也正尽力寻找王者边剑。One knight was carving solid shapes out of wood. 一个骑士正在将木头雕刻出立体的形状。Another knight was counting the edges of each stone in the castle. 另一个骑士正在数城堡石墙上每块石头有几条边。A third knight was inspecting the points of several swords. 第3位骑士正在检查几把宝剑的尖。The last knight was looking through school books for a test with the number 2. 最后一位骑士正在教科书里仔细地查阅一个关于数字2的测试。I know a shortcut, said Radius. 半径说，我知道一条近路。He led Vertex into a tunnel. 说着，他带着顶点走进了一条地道。This will take us under the courtyard to the carpenter's workshop. 这条地道能让我们从城堡的中庭地底下走到木匠的作坊。 The tunnel was dimly lit, and scratchings and squeaking came from the dark shadows. 那条地道十分昏暗，在阴暗的角落里还不时传出窸窸窣窣爪子与地面摩擦的声音和吱吱吱的叫声。When they got to the workshop, Vertex showed the carpenters Geehan and Sim of Mitri the drawings on the parchment. 等他们到了木工作坊，顶点给木匠几何与对称看了那张羊皮纸上的图画。Do you know what these are? He asked. 顶点问他们，你们知道这些是什么吗？ Yes, answered Geehan. These are diagrams showing solid shapes flattened out. 几何说，我知道，这些是立体形状的平面解析图。You can use them to make shapes with height, length, and width, added his brother Sim. 他的弟弟补充说道，你能用这些图上标的长、宽以及高的尺寸来制作图形。I see, nodded Vertex. Let's try it, Radius. 顶点点点头说，我明白了，半径，我们来试试吧。Vertex and Radius cut and folded the shapes. 顶点和半径把这些形状按样子剪了出来并折好。The parchment says the shapes that make two will pass the test, Vertex said. 顶点说，那张羊皮纸上写着，能够得出2的图形，遇到测试可以通行。This cube has 6 square sides or faces, 8 corner points, and 12 edges where the faces come together. 这个立方体有6个正方形的面，8个顶点，以及12条边，每条边都是其中2个面相交的地方。How do you get a 2 from that? 你怎么能从这里面找到2呢？ Look at this pyramid, said Radius. It has 5 faces, 5 points, and 8 edges. I don't see a 2 anywhere. 半径说，看看这个角锥体，它有5个面、5个顶点和8条边，我在哪里都找不到2。Maybe we'll have to add the number of faces and the number of points, said Vertex. 顶点说，也许我们得把面的数字和顶点的数字加起来。If we add the pyramid faces and the points, we get 10. 要是我们把这个角锥体的面和顶点的数字加起来就是10。10 minus the 8 edges is 2. 10减去边的数量8就是数字2。Does it work for the cube too? asked Radius. 半径自言自语道，那这个算法对立方体行得通吗？ The cube's 6 faces plus its 8 points is 14. 立方体有6个面，加上它的8个顶点等于数字14。14 minus the 12 edges is 2. 14减去它的边的数量12等于2。I think you've got it, Vertex. 顶点，我觉得你的方法是对的。Vertex and Radius finished making the shapes. 顶点和半径完成了立体图形的制作。There were cubes, pyramids, rectangular prisms, triangular prisms, cylinders, and cones. 它们有立方体、角锥体、长方体、三棱柱、圆柱体以及圆锥体。Vertex counted the faces, corner points, and edges of each shape. 顶点数了数每个图形有几个面、几个顶点和几条边。He added the number of faces and the points, then subtracted the number of edges. 他把每个图形面的数量和顶点的数量相加，再减去边的数量。The answer was 2 each time, except for the cylinder and the cone. 每次得到的结果都是2，只有圆柱体和圆锥体除外。Vertex unrolled the parchment and read again. 顶点展开那张羊皮纸，又读了读上面写的字。The shapes that make 2 will pass the test, but one that does not must be your quest. 能得出2的图形，遇见测试可以通行；可得出1的却不行，就必定要你去寻。The cylinder doesn't have any points, and the cone doesn't have any straight edges. 圆柱体没有任何的顶点，而圆锥体没有任何直的边。 They can't make 2 and pass the test. 这两个图形不能得出2，因此遇到测试不能通行。Our next clue must be a cylinder or cone, he announced. 顶点宣布说，我们的下一条线索一定是一个圆柱体或圆锥体。Look at this, said Radius. I made a model of the castle with the shapes. 半径说，过来看看这个，我用那些立体图形做了个我们所在的这个城堡的模型。Here is the pyramid roof on top of the rectangular tower. 这个是长方形塔楼上面角锥体的屋顶。The other towers are the cylinders with their cone-shaped roofs. 其他的塔楼是圆柱体的，屋顶则都是圆锥体的。Vertex looked at the model. 顶点看着那个模型。Let's search for the edge caliber in the round towers, since they are built in the shapes of cones and cylinders. 顶点说，我们去圆形塔楼里找王者边界吧，因为这些塔楼是以圆柱体和圆锥体的形状来建造的。Vertex and Radius climbed up and down the spiral staircase in each round tower. 顶点和半径在每一座圆形塔楼的螺旋形楼梯上跑上跑下的。They looked under every trapdoor, in every suit of armor, and behind every tapestry, but there were no sign of edge caliber. 他们检查了每一扇暗门的下面，每一副铠甲的里面，以及每一张挂毯的后面，但是都没有王者边界的踪迹。Let's search from above, Vertex said. 顶点说，让我们从上方进行搜索吧。They went up to the roof. 他们俩就跑到了屋顶上。Vertex had a commanding view of the castle courtyard. 顶点居高临下，俯瞰着整个城堡的城堡中庭。Look at the stones in the path, he said. 他对半径说，看那条路上铺设的石头。Each of those round paving stones could be the bottom of a cone or cylinder. 那条路上铺设的每一块圆形石头都可能是一个圆柱体或者是圆锥体的底部。The path is in the same direction as the tunnel we went through. 那条路和我们走的那条地道的方向一致。Vertex and Radius returned to the tunnel. 顶点和半径回到了地道里。Sharp points jutted down from the ceiling. 一个个尖尖的角从地道的顶部垂下。These points could be the tips of cones, Radius said. 半径说，这些尖角可能就是圆锥体的顶点。We need to dig them up, said Vertex. 顶点说，我们得把它们挖出地面。Vertex and Radius waited until nightfall, when the courtyard was empty. 顶点和半径一直等到夜幕降临，城堡的中庭才变得空无一人。Vertex remembered the words of the parchment. 顶点记得羊皮纸上写着的话 ：3 times as tall as its base is wide, the true king's future lies inside. 它的高度是底座宽度的3倍，真国王的未来就存放在内。If the base of a cone is its circular bottom, we need to measure the width of these paving stones. 顶点对半径说，如果一个圆锥形的底座是它圆形的底部的话，我们就得要测量这些铺路的石头的宽度。Vertex measured one of the stones. This cone is 14 inches across its base, he said. 顶点测量了其中一块石头，说这个圆锥形的底座宽度是14英寸。So it must have a height of 42 inches to be 3 times as tall, Radius replied. 半径回答说，因此它的高度必须达到42英寸才能是底座宽度的3倍。Vertex and Radius dug up the cone. 顶点和半径把这颗石头的圆锥体挖了出来。It was 47 inches high. 它的高度是47英寸。Oh no, said Radius. It's more than 3 times as tall. 半径叫道，哦不，这要比它底座宽度的3倍高多了。Let's try another one, suggested Vertex. 顶点建议说，我们来试试另一个吧。He and Radius dug all night. 就这样，他和半径挖了一整个晚上。 They unearthed and measured many cones, but none was right. 他们俩又挖了并且量了许多石头圆锥体，然而没有一个是对的。Some were too tall, while others were too short. 有一些太高了，而另一些又不够高。They still had many cones to go, while the full moon set and the day began to dawn. 顶点和半径还有许多石头的圆锥体要挖要量，可眼看着圆月即将落下，黎明将至。We will never finish, groaned Radius. We've looked for clues in the tunnel and dug up lots of cones. Where else can we look? 半径抱怨说，这样我们永远也干不完。我们已经在地道里找了线索，也挖了好多圆锥体了。我们还可以去哪里找线索呢？ We've looked over the cones, under the cones, and on the cones. But what if Excalibur is hidden inside the cone? Suggested Vertex. 顶点说，我们已经对这些圆锥体从上到下都检查过了，但是如果王者边剑藏在某个圆锥体的里面呢？ Are any of them big enough? 它们中间有哪个足够大吗？Excalibur is a sword, so it has to be about 48 inches long, about the same length as this shovel. 半径说，王者边剑是一把宝剑，所以它应该大约长48英寸，跟这把铁铲差不多长。Vertex asked, Radius, will you go back down into the tunnel? 顶点问，半径，你能回到地道里去吗？Soon Vertex heard Radius' voice from below. 很快顶点就听到半径的声音从地下传了出来。I'm in the tunnel, but what am I looking for? 我在地道里了，可是我该找些什么呢？ Vertex placed the shovel in the nearest hole. 顶点把铁铲放进离它最近的一个洞里。Can you see any cones that are as long as the shovel?他问，你能找到任何跟这把铁铲一样长的圆锥体吗？ I see 4 cones that are about the same length, Radius answered. 半径回答说，我看着有4个圆锥体高度跟这个差不多。Excalibur could be hidden inside any one of those cones, Vertex said. 顶点说，王者边剑可能就藏在这4个圆锥体其中的一个里面。But the cone we seek must be 3 times as tall as its base is wide. 但我们要找的这个圆锥体，它的高度应该是它底座宽度的3倍。48 inches divided by 3 is 16 inches, said Vertex. 顶点接着说，48英寸除以3应该是16英寸。He measured the bases of the 4 cones. 他逐个量了这4个圆锥体的底面。All were more than 16 inches, but the last one was close. 4个全都超过了16英寸，但最后一个很接近16英寸。As the sun peeped over the horizon, Vertex started to dig. 随着太阳从地平线上冉冉升起，顶点开始挖那个圆锥体。Radius ran back to the courtyard. 半径跑回城堡中庭。Vertex heaved and tugged on the stone. 顶点对那块石头又提又拽。Finally, he pulled up a large cone. 最后，他终于把那个大石头圆锥体从地面拔了出来。Vertex measured it. 顶点量了一下。It was exactly 51 inches high. 它的确切高度是51英寸。3 times the 17 inches of its base. 正是它底面宽度17英寸的3倍。Vertex pried off the base of the cone and pulled out a gleaming sword. 顶点撬开了这个圆锥体的底座，从里面拔出一把闪闪发亮的宝剑。Excalibur is found, he exclaimed. 他大喊道：“王者边剑找到啦！” As Vertex held the sword aloft, everyone in the castle came running out. 当顶点把王者边剑高高举在空中，城堡里的每一个人都跑出来围观。King Arthur said, "You have solved my puzzle, Sir Vertex." 亚瑟王说：“ 顶点爵士，你已经解开了我的谜题。Tell us how you used your wit and will to find the edge caliber. 告诉我们你是如何用你的智慧与毅力找到王者边剑的。Vertex bowed low. 顶点深深鞠了一躬。Sire, he said, I folded each of the diagrams on the parchment into a solid shape. 他说，陛下，我把羊皮纸上每个图案都折成了立体的形状。Then, for each solid, I added a number of faces to the number of points and subtracted the number of edges. 然后我把每个立体图形面的数字与顶点的数字相加，减去它边的数量。The answer was always 2 until I got the cylinder and the cone. 除了圆柱体和圆锥体以外，其余形状的答案都是2。So Radius and I searched the parts of the castle shaped like cylinders and cones. 因此半径和我就搜寻了城堡中形状为圆柱体和圆锥体的部分。We found these cones buried in courtyard. One of them was 3 times as tall as its base was wide. 我们发现这些圆锥体被埋在城堡的中庭里，它们中的一个高度是其底部宽度的3倍。Edge caliber was inside. 王者边剑就在里面。Vertex knelt and held out the sword. 顶点跪下，献出了那把宝剑。King Arthur smiled. Sir Vertex, you have used your intelligence to earn the greatest honor that I can bestow. 亚瑟王微笑着说，顶点爵士，你运用你的智慧赢得了我能授予的最高荣耀。The king took edge caliber and tapped Vertex on each shoulder. 亚瑟王接过了王者边剑，用它轻点了顶点的双肩。I dub you Prince Vertex. 他说，我晋封你为顶点王子。When I can no longer rule, you shall be the king. 一旦我不能再统治这个王国，你就将成为国王。Rise now and greet your subjects. 现在请起，并向你的臣民致意。In your hands, their future is in solid shape. 在你的手中，他们的未来坚实稳固。The crowd cheered. 群众们欢呼起来。Vertex said, I want to thank Sir Cumference, Lady Di of Armitor and Radius. 顶点说，我想要感谢圆周骑士、直径夫人和半径。They helped me measure up to the challenge. 他们帮助我应对挑战。I hope they will be my advisors when I am king. 我希望当我成为国王的时候，他们能够当我的顾问。Vertex eventually did become a wise and thoughtful king, known to his people as Vertex the Lion-hearted. 顶点最终成为了一位英明而又深谋远虑的国王，被他的臣民称为心细如线的顶点王。To this day, the point at the heart of 2 or more lines is called a vertex. 到了今天，我们把同一点出发的2条或多条直线的这个出发点称为顶点。Thanks for listening. See you next time.